still don't have an opening, so I'm just going to say, hey, fuckers?
No, I'm not a fucker. You would just say, hey, welcome to...
Hey, do I have to say the name of the show every time?
I think you do, yeah.
I don't know if I have to. I think so.
See, now we're out of practice, and all of a sudden you want to change it.
I know. We haven't been here a couple of days. You haven't been here. We've been sick.
Yeah.
Very sick.
Yep. I just want to say that I called my shot on that, too.
What do you mean?
Because my number one was...
Number one. I think mine was number 2 or 3, right?
Pandemic.
Was the goddamn flu.
I thought it was going to be the end of me.
It wasn't good in this house either. I think it's still bad in your house, right?
It's, yeah, I aired the house out today. It was a big step. But, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't... I guess so. Welcome to Doomsday Doobie-Doo. I think that we... first of all, we started this podcast... at the very beginning of flu season, like November, right? Something like around there, October, and holiday season. And it's a 2-man operation. And we have no producer. We have no audio team. We have nothing. We have no time. We have kids. We were not given any opportunity to have quote-unquote shows in the can should anybody get sick. If I was sick, maybe you would record. If you were sick, maybe I would record. But what do we do if we're both sick? We were screwed. Both of us pretty screwed up. And
you're 95% of the technical crew. I mean, let's face it. When we sit and do this part of the show, I'm probably more talent than I am ever. Because you cut the show, you publish the show. I don't even know how to fucking do any of that shit.
You're talent?
Well, I mean, what else am I? If I'm not doing fucking technical shit, I'm fucking
the talent.
I'm the color guy.
Yeah,
right?
No.
You're play-by-play.
You're the color guy. You're more than that. I just thought it was funny hearing you say that. The talent.
Well, I don't know how else to classify myself.
No, you're talented.
You're the play-by-play guy. I'm the color guy.
Maybe, but
are we?
I don't know. But that's why we missed a week, and it's very upsetting to me. Yeah. Very, very upsetting to me because you want to be consistent. People who are like listening, these guys are just jerking off. But it was pretty bad. But we are here. We did do the RPG episode, which was not late. That's well, if you're listening to this, that was last Monday. Then now, that's going pretty well. And we were just actually talking about that and even if you don't listen to the RPG show, that's fine. Though a lot of people seem to enjoy it. We're talking about the character, our inability, not our inability. I think you're more comfortable with this than I am. I'm not an actor. I have a very tough time acting. I enjoy the writing process, some of the I enjoy a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So, how this particular character was really well fleshed out, I thought, on paper, not to pat myself on the fucking back, but I think that had this torturous upbringing, has a lot of demons to deal with, which makes for an interesting character in a role-playing game. But then when I have to play this person, the character is essentially too complicated for me, and ends up being this snarky, ends up being a mixture of my own personality and I don't know, not Police Squad, but like some buddy cop movie, which I think you even referenced.
In
the last episode. So, not to knock the show, I think that again, it's actual play, role playing game between two guys. Which even with two guys, you have you're also limited. Most role playing shows are 3, 4, 5, 6 players. So considering that, I think we're pretty good, and I think the story so far is pretty good. But I can't act for crap, and and it bothers me because I feel like this character maybe would be a little bit different. And as I was telling you, we decided to just start the show because otherwise we would just be talking to each other forever, and we would never even be recording. I tried acting. I took I had gone to school of visual arts to learn because I wanted to be, I wanted to write and direct. So one of the things, that they drilled into you in film school is that if you wanted to direct, you had to know all the aspects of a film. You had to know the writing aspect. You had to know the editing. You had to know the audio. You had to know even the acting. How could you direct an actor if you don't know what it's like to act or how an actor acts? So I had taken, one of the courses was an acting class, and I took it with, and I don't remember her name. I know she was in Law and Order, and her name was Susan something.
Mariska Hargitay?
Susan, her name, not the characters. Her name was Susan something. Law and Order, Susan something. She was teaching us the quote unquote the method. I think it was invented by some Russian guy. I don't remember his name. But we would do these weird exercises where you'd get yourself relaxed, and the whole point of the method was that you memorized your lines completely by rote. So the words of the script literally meant nothing to you. They were just pure memorization. So you could spill them out of your mouth without thinking about them at all. And then whatever your character was required to feel, you would bring up within yourself a personal experience that creates that feeling. And then you would just spill out the words by rote. But because when you're saying the words from the script, you're not really thinking those words. You're feeling and you're in this moment that's a personal moment. Mind you, in front of 40 people, right? You're doing this. And you're in this complete emotional state. And the words are just coming out. But the words are coming out correctly because the emotional state that your character is supposed to be feeling, you actually are feeling. And you're saying those words with that feeling, though you've detached the words from the feeling. And it ends up being that you're almost not even acting anymore. You're kind of being yourself. She used to say to almost embrace every part of your life, including the shitty parts. She said the shitty parts were like, she said they were, in her jargon, she said that they were like little turds that she would polish into gold and put in her treasure chest. So that way, when she was called upon to feel awful about something, she would reach into that chest, pull out that turd, and just bring herself back to that moment of that turd, and then just spill out her lines. And it was one of the most difficult things I've ever tried to do. And I'll never forget the time she demonstrated it. She lines up, and one of the things is you do it when you're recalling this. You recall what visually happened. You recall the sounds that you heard, and then you recall even the sense, like what you smelled when the stuff was going on.
I don't think I have that kind of memory of everything, though. That's ever happened,
well, she did.
Wow.
And you bring yourself in when you surround yourself with all those senses, and if you really let yourself go, which is why I said actors aren't normal. At least the actors that are capable of this. She wasn't normal. She wasn't a normal person. And I don't mean that in even a derogatory way, but because she started, she was just talking like this, just giving this lecture, explaining this. And then she said, like, for instance, I was very close to my grandmother, and she starts talking, and she goes, and I remembered, and she would lift up her arm. She goes, the bottom of her arm would be loose, and she'd have that loose skin, that flappy skin. And she said, and she used to wear this, and she starts describing her house coat that she used to wear. And she's described how sick she was. And then she said, and then the smell that she always had of this powder. And as she's explaining the smell, that grandma smell, tears are flowing from her face. Her eyes are red. She's breaking down in front of us. The entire class was staring at her like, what the fuck is going on? And it didn't faze her one bit. It's like nobody was there. It's like she was in this room by herself. And I looked at her and I said, I'll never be able to do that. So when I'm in our role-playing game and my mentor is fucking nailed to a wall, and dying because of something that I've done, like as a character. I mean, she would be able to act the fuck out of that. She would, you know what I mean? And here I am, like, doing it zero justice, you know? So it's upsetting. But
I wouldn't say that you did it zero justice, because I think it's different. I think even in those other podcasts we talked about where the people were playing it, and they are, those people were like, they were almost marginally in like fucking costume. They had like in costume.
They were.
And that's definitely when you're dealing with video.
Lighting. There was studio lighting.
Oh yeah, and that was amazing. And I told you some of these are like amazing sets. But I think those are people who are playing to their strengths. If your strength is the writing aspect instead of the emoting part, then fill in the blanks with the writing parts that you are good at. Then maybe you don't fill yourself with all those emotions and act them out, but you say, obviously I'm destroyed. I'm distraught. I'm at the edge of my rope here. This is everything that I've known. This is everything that I had, which wasn't very much. And I've been pushed to this. I mean, I think you can verbalize it without, like you said, there are very few people. I don't know. I think you made fun of me on one of the first few episodes when I said there are actors who they're vessels that they can empty themselves and fill themselves up with whatever they want, right? A lot of these method people are like that, right? They're empty. They can empty themselves and then fill themselves with all these details and take themselves emotionally back to another place. And that's a rare gift, because like I told you,
it was insane to watch.
I don't think I have a memory or recall. I mean, I remember bits and pieces, but nothing that's going to really transport me back there. It's like
her lips trembling. She was crying.
Yeah.
There was zero acting happening.
Yeah.
And yet she was just continuing with the words of her lecture.
She was just channeling sadness from another part of her life and putting it into but it was almost, it's had to be weird too, because here she is describing it, but she's not really, she's crying, she's weeping, she's visibly upset. You're not really sure why, other than this memory of her grandmother saddens her, remembering her in that detail, taking her someplace else. But it's almost like doing an exercise where you're saying words, but the emotion that you're displaying isn't tied towards what you're actually doing in the scene.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you assume that the dialogue in the script is decent, where this person is breaking down, and so they're going to have words that kind of make sense. It's not like she's saying, let's go to super happy fun time, but she would be saying those words, but not really thinking those words or thinking about this. She'd be thinking about her dead grandmother while saying those words. And so it made those words immensely powerful. So, so that's... I guess, but it's also tough when you're writing too. You have time, So it's like, okay, so you turn around and you feel something against the wall, and it feels warm and sticky. It feels like a body, and the light comes on, and it appears he's nailed to the wall, and then now, okay, go. And it's like holy shit. And it's like these, I mean, really powerful stuff. Like what'll happen is like after we do it, and then I'll listen to it, and I'll be like, oh wow, I acted that all wrong. But it doesn't diminish it though, because the show is still lots of fun. It has lots of listeners. But I don't know. It was just something we were talking about. I don't know. Well, anyway, sorry that we were sick.
Yes.
And since we were sick, I also have no notes.
Yeah, I have some old stuff.
You have some old stuff.
Yeah. Nothing
new. I mean, a lot of stuff pissed me off this week, but I don't know if I want to.
I did see a story that officially the polls are moving. Did you see that this week?
Yes,
officially.
You said that they were moving.
Yeah, but then we didn't really get the idea that we were like, no. It seems like now that the scientists have committed that we are officially in a period.
Did you notice that like a lot of the stuff that we talk about and bring up, like it's weird. It's like The Secret, like from Oprah.
Yeah,
like, it's almost like we bring it into existence. like within 2 days of that show, I saw that on Twitter about the polls, and I was just dying laughing at my desk. I'm like, look at this. We were just freaking talking about this, and here it is, that the polls are moving and what that means.
Yep. And I see it on my Amazon show in my kitchen, like constantly. You just walk by and a news story will be on there. And I don't know. It's interesting because I don't know if it's learning. I don't know. I don't search this stuff on Amazon.
You have that in your house?
Yes.
Aren't you a tech guy?
Yeah.
Well, why do you trust that shit?
Oh, I don't trust it, but it's there.
You just gave up.
I don't know. What are they going to do? Listen in my house?
Yeah, they are listening in my house.
I don't care. Let them listen in my house. What are they going to hear?
I don't know what they're going to hear.
That's always the thing I always scare. I think if I was turning it off or putting a sheet over it or something, I feel like I would be hiding something.
So
it's in my kitchen.
Yeah.
You can listen, like, me yelling at my kids, me doing homework with my kids, me yelling at the Yankees losing on the TV. What's it doing? I don't put it in. I wouldn't put it in a bedroom. No way.
Well, what goes on in the bedroom?
Lots of snoring and farting. And little else.
No, but I can't. I don't know, someone eavesdropping on you and then selling that information.
But what about your iPhone? Did you fix the bug where I can call you? And, we did that at work just to see if we could. That whole, I call you and then you don't have to answer, but I'm still like hearing you and even seeing you with that iOS bug that they did.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't try it.
We tried it just to see. It was just as easy as they said it was.
Wow. Well, no, I have everything turned off. Like even on this thing, I have everything, like Cortana on this thing is completely turned off in every which way.
Mm.
I turn off whatever I can. Anytime a website says remember password, no, thank you. Notifications, no.
But you're also the guy when you went to go buy a car last weekend that
I couldn't do it.
Your credit was shut down.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't buy the fucking
So would
car.
you describe yourself as paranoid?
Well, first of all, Equifax, 125 million customers' information was taken full. Now, Equifax doesn't just have your fucking address. They have your like the past 5 places you lived, your past 10 phone numbers, your every single line of credit you've had in your life currently and over the past 7 or 8 years. Equifax knows more about you almost than probably you do. You would go into Equifax and learn stuff about yourself. It's crazy. And and plus your social security number, date of birth, all that stuff. And they literally just lost that shit. So that's another reason why because the less of me that's out there, the less I rely on someone else keeping it safe. Okay, we're recording. I checked that we're recording. I don't trust that shit at all. But anyway, so what I did was I put a freeze on my credit on all 3 credit bureaus. I put a freeze on. I remember some asshole freaking politician. I think it was Elizabeth Warren. Put together some sort of bill or something that I forget what it was, some $20 thing or whatever that you could do, and it didn't even freeze your credit. Like it did something not as good, and it made a great headline that she was like seemed like she was fighting for us, and like she was doing all this stuff, and that's like she was coming down hard on Equifax. And then I think it was in Reddit. And then I think it was like maybe the 3rd comment. And I was like, or, she can go F herself and her stupid, public PR photo op. And you could do for free. You could go and I put the links where you can go do your own credit freeze. So do more than Elizabeth Warren was suggesting you do and have it cost you nothing. And I got downvoted into oblivion. Fucking people like, fuck this dick. In the meantime, she's a goddamn senator, right? I mean, can you spend 20 minutes on fucking Google and see what people really need to help themselves from getting in any kind of trouble instead of trying to think of how you can get reelected for fucking 5 minutes. And so she did that, and I go, but anyway, so I froze my shit up. Mm-hmm. And I forgot about it because I, knock on wood, I didn't need credit over the past 2 years. So I was just, chugging along. Then Lisa's, my wife's, the car, fucking the engine ceased. Don't buy a Volkswagen Tiguan. It was nothing but fucking trouble for us for the entire time we owned it, until finally the engine seized. And I said, fuck this car. And all right, let's go get another car. We're leasing the Toyota. Went in there, got everything ready. That was a whole story in itself. My sales rep it was a trip. Anyway, we got did somebody call my name? Oh,
somebody's
James. Yeah, James woke up. My 5-year-old fell asleep at like 4 p.m.
Oh, Jesus.
So that means now he's wide awake.
Walking around upstairs, wondering where everybody is.
Yep. Lisa's out cold.
So is he coming down on the show?
Maybe.
Okay.
Wait, I want to hear if he comes down. If he comes down, we'll put him on.
Somebody's coming.
Yes? Okay, go upstairs. Mommy's upstairs. Should I give this 5-year-old something to drink?
There's no drink upstairs.
There's beers down here. Should I give him a beer?
I mean, we'll put him back to sleep.
Hang on one second. Let me get him something to drink.
Now the question is, do you remember where we were?
Well, no. Yeah. No. Yes? No.
Are you paranoid and then your credit was locked and you bought the car? And...
okay. I was telling the car story, right? I guess it's not really much of a story. I just got everything done. I spent the whole goddamn Saturday trying to get a freaking car because I need one right away because it's paying for a rental car. So Lisa can get to work. And sit down. It's finally like maybe 5 o'clock on a Saturday. Having spent didn't eat all day. Didn't even have breakfast. Just had a cup of coffee. It's 5 o'clock on a Saturday. And my credit score wouldn't come up.
Yeah, that's the most brutal thing that you told me was, and I told you when you go there and they keep you there as long as they can and they keep you there. And let me go talk to my manager. Let me go. Hold on. Let me make sure this deal is the deal. And they keep you there and they keep you there and they keep you there. And then it's all a part of the fucking game. And then you're like, I'm ready to sign. This is the car I want to buy. I want the price. I love the price. And then they come, okay. Oh well, something's up with your credit.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You just spent like 19 hours.
Exactly. Well, it was. I mean, that's a poker move, right? That's it's called being pot committed. The longer they can keep you in the dealership, the harder it is for you to walk out because you spent the whole fucking day here. I'm leaving with a car.
Yeah,
that's what they want you to feel. But I actually put that to bed. I had already walked out of a dealership and I was in my second one, and I put that to bed with the guy. I was like, "Look, listen," I said. What took the time is that we looked at a couple of different ones because one came and it was supposed to be what is it? 8, the one with the third row was a 7 or 8 passenger. I forget what it's called. 7. I think it's a 7.
Okay.
Right. Because it's 2, 3 and 3. That's the 8. So this is 2 with the 2 captain's chairs and then the third row in the back.
Okay. Yeah.
That one. So that's a 7-seater. So the 8-seater came from their second lot and then they had to send that back and come back with the 7-seater. And then I had to wait for Lisa to come because she had to pick up the kids from somewhere else and then bring them back so she could. I didn't want to sign for the car without her at least seeing it. Like, look at it. She's like, oh, she loved it. Oh, everything she loved. Okay, good. All right, leave. I'm going to go take care of this. And then so she leaves and they drew up all the paperwork because they didn't think there'd be any issue. And then I just go like in the little waiting area and, the sale's done. And he's like, I can't access your credit. Do you have a freeze? I'm like, oh, fuck. So I have, at this point, I'm in this guy's freaking waiting area with an iPhone with 10% battery. And now I got to try and unlock 3 credit bureaus with a 10% iPhone. and didn't have my reading glasses. Couldn't fucking see even my phone, what the fuck it was even saying. And then then being paranoid the way I am, every single password that I needed and all the PIN numbers that they give you, I hid like a motherfucker. So you couldn't even find those to unlock it. Like if you hacked my Evernote account, you would never find them. Because you know why? Because I have the password to my Evernote account. I still couldn't fucking find how to unlock all the shit. And then even when you go to the website, it's like almost like a pain in the ass to figure out how to unlock the shit. Then going through that, and then P.S. it was like the end, like they were closing. Yeah. I had to call Lisa. I was like, oh, come get me. And she had to come get me. It was fucking miserable.
Did they think you were playing a game on them? Like, oh, this motherfucker's trying to turn this around on us now?
No, well,
he's playing the long game. Do you want to sell this car or not, pal? Because I'm, just give me another 5 minutes here. I'm going to get this unlocked.
I know. That's what they deserved. But they were actually pretty cool. And my sales rep was Jimmy. Turned out to be an Italian guy from. When we first saw him, we're like, oh, geez, because he just looked like some like Italian guy that I'm Italian, but he was like too stereotypical looking.
Yeah.
And Lisa's like, oh no, like this isn't gonna go well. And then I just started talking to him. I was like, Jimmy, listen to me, man. I hate fucking buying cars. He started laughing. I'm like, look, I know the game. You know the game. We know the game. Fuck the game. Listen, go to the Imagine now, because I know you're going to get up and we're going to play this whole thing. The whole time he's laughing. And then finally he was like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from Bensonhurst. Where are you from? He goes, me too. I goes, I'm from Avenue S. I said, I'm from Bay 46th Street. He goes, and the next thing you know, we're talking about all the, we're talking about the old neighborhood. We're talking about, I'm like, all right, look, all right, good, great. Jimmy, go fucking get me a price. And if it's the right price, I'm buying the fucking car.
Yeah.
And he came back. He gave me a fucking great price. He gave, and it wasn't a lot down. And, I think all the maintenance is included and all this shit for like $36,000 a month. I'm like, done. Let me get my wife here. And then it ended like that. But he was still cool. He was, that, I have to say, it ended up, something that we thought was going to be a negative was actually turned out to be a positive. We were exchanging, at one point when we were waiting for my credit to unlock, we were exchanging photos of bread that we made.
Oh, jeez.
Homemade bread.
So what does a prototypical Italian person look like, according to you? Was he wearing like a tracksuit?
No, he wasn't wearing a tracksuit. That would make him like what, Russian or Armenian?
Like lots of gold chains and a tracksuit.
No, that's still Armenian.
It's still Armenian. I thought Paulie Walnuts wore a tracksuit though.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch a lot of Sopranos. I found that show offensive. I forgot about Paulie Walnuts. No, he was dressed nice, but like very gelled hair.
Okay.
He had
like straight back.
Right.
Gelled.
Yeah. Dyed.
Okay.
Dyed gelled hair.
Extra black gelled hair.
Eyebrows that were too manicured, like way too manicured.
Okay.
Turned out he was 60-something years old. He didn't look 60-something years old. He was very shiny.
Very tanned.
Very tanned and shiny.
Okay.
But ended up being like the super cool dude. Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, we judge books by their covers. But I don't know. He could be like slimy guy, but and maybe it's just the way. Maybe it's the old neighborhood connection, or the way I handled him and the way we handled each other it just worked out. But yeah, so maybe I'm too paranoid. Is that what the point is?
I think you're a little paranoid.
Trying to say?
I think you're a little bit, yeah.
I'm super paranoid.
Not that it's not warranted, but I don't know. Like I said, everybody's like, "Oh, you trust that in your house?" I'm like, meanwhile, they'll turn to their cell phone and start talking to their cell phone, and I'm like,
no, I don't do that.
I'm like, your cell phone is listening to everything you're saying too. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't do Siri. I don't do Cortana.
Does Cortana even fucking work though? To be honest,
I don't do Hey Google. Cortana. I never took the time to even figure it out to see if it worked. I just don't trust it. My credit. I undid the credit hold, but only it was only open for 5 days. It's locked again now. Yeah, I'm on complete lockdown. Like when I log on That's why when you said you was surfing porn on your freaking home computer, my head almost exploded.
Really?
I mean, I do it on a home computer too, but I open up incognito mode at least. You don't even do that?
I think I started recently.
No, I'm completely incognito mode.
I don't know.
And even that's probably
it just doesn't
bullshit.
do it like cookies, and it doesn't.
It doesn't allow cookies, and it doesn't track internet history.
Yeah,
it doesn't save temporary files and stuff.
It doesn't save passwords.
It doesn't save passwords.
Yeah.
I don't have porn's free essentially.
Yeah,
though I'm really tempted.
But somebody has to pay for it, don't they?
No, I think people click on those ads, and I'm really tempted to click on some of those ads just to see where I end up. And when I think don't jerk off yet. I'm like,
yeah,
what?
That's always weird. Yeah.
Why? Yeah, I'm here.
Mind your fucking business.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah. Well,
try and fucking stop.
Give me 5 minutes of your time, though.
Yeah, no, really.
Put that down for a second.
Yeah, well, maybe. Well, they know the second you jerk off that you're not interested.
Close
in
it out
anymore.
The whole fucking device.
So they're
away.
trying to stop you but that's not happening. But I part of me wants to just click and just see where we end up. But I'm afraid where I'll end up, so I don't click on it. But I think that's where the revenue comes from, is people clicking on that shit.
But a lot of the things that get posted are from sites where they're selling memberships. So people are posting stuff from these membership sites, and the sites. It's the same fucking sites.
Some of them are like selling the pills, right?
But the site is?
The dick bigger pills.
Oh, but who is buying?
Do you see some of those pictures with the guys with the dick down to their ankles?
Yeah, it doesn't seem,
what the fuck is that? Come on, it's photoshopped.
Seems like it would be very difficult to.
And who wants that?
Walk around like that.
No.
Who wants? Yeah, you're right. Who wants that?
Yeah, it's like a fucking splint.
You want a fucking donkey dick?
Yeah, no,
Nobody wants a donkey dick.
No. So there's those ads.
They look disgusting looking too. You're like, what the fuck is that?
No, so blatantly fake that it's hilarious. And then there's those, and then there's, I don't know, some of it like prostitution, like with girls that just come F me now. Like
it's webcam. It's webcam models is a big thing.
No, but what about people that are 5 minutes away?
Oh yeah. There's a million. There's
who are these 5 minute away people?
Yeah, they can be at your house in 5 minutes.
Well, we live in a small town, so when they say they're 5 minutes away, I start doing the math. I'm like, who's 5 minutes away from here?
They could be.
I start thinking of all the people I know who live 5 minutes away, and I'm hitting 80% of the people.
I mean, I don't know. The RZA's 5 minutes away.
Yeah,
I don't know. Anything's possible.
Yeah, you're 5 minutes away.
I'm 5 minutes away. Yeah. I get there in 5 minutes.
This fucking Chris is going to come over to my house in 5 minutes.
There are 15 girls 5 minutes away waiting to talk to you. Don't jerk off yet, Nick.
Right.
There's 15 girls 5 minutes away.
And then, yeah, I mean, that's.
Where are they standing in a horse field somewhere?
But what's stupid about it is that who wants? That means they're my neighbors. I don't want my neighbors
there are horny housewives in your neighborhood 5 minutes away.
Right. No, that's not something you want.
Yeah, I don't want anybody else involved.
No.
The minute I'm holding the device in my hand, I'm where I need to be. I'm just trying to handle business.
Yeah, you're done.
I don't want nobody else involved.
I said I'll get this closer. The ship is sailed.
Yeah. They're burying. Well, I've said it a million times. They're burying the lead. Like, okay, I'm a captive audience. I'm not really. Yeah. Hey, don't jerk off. If you had these dick pills, then you could get these 5 minute away girls come to your house and you can fuck them with your donkey dick.
Well,
that seems like an awful lot of work. I got to order the pills. I got to take the pills.
You got to click on all those ads.
Yeah.
We should just.
Well, you got to put your credit card information in there too.
I want to see where I end up. I mean, do you end up with a fistful of pills and the girl who lives down the block?
And the Russian wife from down the road comes to your house in 5 minutes. And let me see donkey. Let me see donkey dick.
Let me see donkey.
Where is donkey dick?
Show me the donkey dick.
The donkey dick.
Donkey dicks.
So while we're on the subject, what is your
donkey dicks
of porn? Yes. What is your porn site of choice to go to?
Oh,
what's your go-to? Because everybody has a go-to. There's the obvious choices.
I have two. One's weird though.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Well, no, it's not weird. It's pretty hard. Sometimes I go on it and go, ooh. And I get off it.
What the fuck?
I'm an ex-hamster guy. I like the ex-hamster.
Okay, ex-hamster. But you're right. Ex-hamster is scary. Every now and then you'll see a little wind and you go,
if you think that's scary, then go to xvideos.com.
Been there too.
That's scary.
Gets a little, because you're just like, is this hosted overseas somewhere? And is that the clip
sometimes I see some stuff like that's like, whoa, no, and I close it. Like,
but is it too late?
Like rapey stuff, or like sometimes like kids that look a little too young, and like, oh shit, and I just close it. Like, what is this crap?
It gets freaky.
Yeah, so I don't go there that much.
But once it's opened, isn't it too late? Aren't you fucked? Can't the cops come and just...
I'm incognito. I really should go using the Tor browser, right? But I don't even know.
Oh, you see, but you start opening a Tor browser, now you're going into
NSA is already tracking me as soon as I launch that shit.
But even then, you're going into a whole different world. You're almost guaranteed to be. You're not going to find fucking Brazer's fucking porn.
No, but I'll type in the URL Tor. I wouldn't search in Tor. I would just type the.
But then you got to know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, I would go to like say xhamster.com in my Tor browser.
Pornhub is too mainstream for you.
Yeah, no. That's too produced.
It's too produced.
It is. That's too fucking scripted.
You know what? That always reminds me back to this whole Mrs. Tingle thing, because we really haven't solved that mystery, and I'm not getting any more information from you about it.
Yeah, I'm dry.
That's it. We've reached the end of the Mrs. Tingle. I don't like mysteries.
I think we need more listeners that would help us find it. Mrs. Tingle.
I don't even know. I have a feeling.
Pretty sure it was Tom Byron.
I have a feeling that it has nothing to do with Mrs. Tingle.
The movie, no, has nothing to do with Mrs. Tingle.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. So wherever that name came from.
No, someone about our age has to have seen that scene and know what I'm talking about and say to himself and had to have the same impact on their lives as it did on mine. Even more so, enough for them to remember the name of the movie. And I bet you if I watched it now, it's probably not even that good.
No, you're just remembering it from a moment in time. Like your lack of experience, you were...
Yeah, I remember, like, when I was, 20 or something, or 25 or something. I remember going to Friendly's and getting the Reese's Pieces sundae. And when I was a kid, the Reese's Pieces sundae was... I got to burp. Excuse me. It was... Well, I had to get out of away from the microphone. That's right. I remember it being like this mammoth thing. I remember looking up at it and going, holy fuck, and seeing this big long spoon coming out of it and not being able to see the person on the other side of the table. But when I was 25, I mean, if I remember correctly, I don't know if it was 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 scoops of vanilla ice cream, peanut butter sauce, marshmallow fluff, hot fudge, whipped cream, Reese's Pieces.
Okay.
Amazing sundae.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going in, getting it, and it was a fucking regular size sundae. It was a sundae. Like, oh.
But do you...
What the fuck?
So, but...
It was good.
But was it that
it was way smaller than I remember.
You outgrew the sundae, or do you think they started to get skimpy with the sundae?
I don't know. I'll never know the answer to that question. It keeps me up at night, but I try not to think about it. No, because did it get smaller, or did I just get bigger? Or maybe both happened.
Maybe the world got a little bit smaller.
Maybe the world got a little bit smaller. Maybe I just blew it up in my head. You know, the grass is always greener. The past is always better than...
You built it up.
I don't know what the saying is about the past, but you know what I'm saying. Like you have this bias towards like things were better.
Yeah.
But even if necessarily they kind of weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you're idealizing it.
Yeah, there's a name for that.
You're idealizing the Friendly's sundae, and it wasn't. And you're saying Mrs. Tingle is the same way.
Maybe
you're idealizing.
I'm worried about that because I don't want it to be that way.
Yeah. No. Recapturing that moment, the nostalgia of seeing it again, and looking at it through the mirror of being in your 40s now.
I know she probably has a big, huge bush.
Yeah, and is that like a at the time, that might have been a more appetizing and acceptable thing at the time.
Yeah, and I was probably younger, and this, you never saw a bush.
Oh yeah, you were like,
oh my god! Like the more hair, the better.
Then the 80s
the more hair there was, the more bush there was. The more bush I was seeing.
It went right up to her belly button.
Right, it was like, give me more bush. It's like, all right, here's more bush. It's like this,
Yeah, no, it looked like she had Fidel Castro in a leg lock or something.
Right, yeah, and just being like, oh, look at all that bush.
But then the 80s came, and they were like, there's no bush now.
Was it the 80s? No.
In the 80s, it was like everything was...
No, I think there was plenty of bush in the 80s. I think maybe in 90s.
Maybe was it the 90s it was no bush?
Yeah.
Which ironically was when Bush came around. Band Bush came around.
Bush sucks.
And then the Bush went away when Bush came around.
Right. That band sucks.
You didn't like Gavin,
no.
what's his fuck? Fuck
Gavin,
nuts.
what's his fuck? I went to a hardcore show.
A hardcore show.
Like
Minor Threat, like...
Yep. Minor Threat, Sick of It All.
Sick of It All, yeah. I'm familiar with, that's a Brooklyn, it's a New York hardcore band, yeah.
I don't know if they would, I don't remember where they're from, but Sick of It All, and there was another band playing that day. I forget the name of it. But it was in a basement around the block from the Limelight. You ever been to the Limelight?
I've heard of the Limelight.
In the city. It was an abandoned church, not an abandoned church. It was an old church that they got turned into a club and was notorious for the LGBTQ plus community back in the 90s.
I would say that would be before it was an official community, right?
Before it was even a community, and lots of drugs. And we used to live there. We used to go, my friends and I used to go to Limelight on Thursday nights, I think, which was gay night, it was just known that was gay night.
Okay.
And that's because that's when the hottest chicks in the world were there.
Yeah,
like the absolute hottest women in all of New York were in the Limelight on gay night. Because I guess they felt, non-threatened.
Yeah. The
men in there were beautiful. Like, he was like, holy shit. Like, you felt like an ugly bastard. But it didn't matter how ugly you were because you were straight, and the girls, any straight girl in there who was feeling a little frisky was wasn't gonna get anywhere unless she went for like the ugly guys,
So you went to a straight edge show on.
Oh, anyway, yeah. So no,
I was gonna say.
No, so anyway, so around the block was this place. God damn, I don't remember the name of it, but it's a very small place. It was like a lounge, and what they did is they took all the couches out and they kind of built like this plywood stage. I mean, not a lot of people listen to. I mean, these guys weren't rich. Sick of It All was just getting by. They didn't have to have day jobs. Maybe they probably did have day jobs, and they were just playing their music. And I don't know why I was so fucking angry. I guess because some of that shit's angry music.
Yeah. It's because they don't drink or have sex. It's angry because they don't drink or have sex.
No, that's Minor Threat. He was straight edge. No, no drinking, no drugs, no sex.
That's no fun.
That's Ian MacKaye.
Ian MacKaye, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a completely unrealistic.
Yeah, and then I used to love his other band, Fugazi. Fugazi, I don't know.
I love Fugazi. No.
Fugazi's awesome.
Love Fugazi. I have Minor Threat.
A great song.
I have Minor Threat. I have the Minor Threat album.
You know?
I mean, of course, yeah.
But how come you make fun of me for all the '90s music I listened to?
I'm not
like karaoke night when I was singing a Foo Fighters song.
I didn't make fun of you.
Fucking me. Next with the '90s, and what were you singing?
Everything. I sang country music.
You were singing country music? Okay, so I don't know.
I didn't make fun of you.
You made fun of me.
Did I make fun of you, or just make a comment?
You made the comment with this tone of...
Oh, my God. Now you're reading into my tones?
Tone of mockery.
It was... You know what it is? You picked a Foo Fighters song.
Right.
Which Foo Fighters song did you pick?
I picked one that I knew... Because I was singing it with Lisa. So I wanted to pick a song that I know she would... That she also liked and that she would sing with me. And a song that's fun to sing.
Yeah.
My Hero.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
I mean,
I sang it pretty good, too. There's lots of pictures of me screaming into the microphone.
Okay. No, I saw him.
Okay.
And I love Foo Fighters. So I was thinking about that first Foo Fighters album the other day.
Uh-huh.
And one of my favorite songs on that first Foo Fighters album
I'm interested to hear this.
Have you heard? It's for the cows. Have you heard that song before?
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love that song. I don't know why I love that song. I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of goofy.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of goofy.
It's a fun song. It's a good song. My favorite song on that album, though, is "Exhausted."
Exhausted. Which one?
It's the last track on that record.
Okay.
And it actually was the first song that he ever recorded as Foo Fighters.
It's kind of funny too,
awesome.
because he did everything on that album.
Yep.
Everything.
Drums, bass,
there was no
guitar,
real. He didn't really have a band. It was just
him.
Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
The drummer for Nirvana that nobody really thought anything of because fucking Kurt Cobain was on stage in front of him.
Yeah.
And then that other fucking idiot was bashing fucking guitars off his goddamn head.
Which idiot?
Chris Novoselic.
Chris Novoselic.
But they both had bands right after Nirvana. He had that Spirit of 76 band, which was...
I didn't hear any of that.
And then the Foo Fighters dropped, and it was fucking huge. That was huge, dude.
Yeah, I rebelled against, like I told you, I wanted nothing to do with
You raged against the Foo Fighters?
Big time. Big time. They say that even if Kurt Cobain was alive today, probably after that In Utero album, after the MTV Unplugged album, maybe one more album. Maybe after that, Dave was making the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Like no matter what. And because Kurt was actually even hinting towards going solo. So yeah, we probably got what we were going to get out of Nirvana.
Yeah.
I think. By the way, so I went to this show, this hardcore.
Oh, sorry.
This hardcore show.
Hardcore show, yeah.
Fucking hardcore show. Moshing. It was just, I don't think there was any booze in the place.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were just fucking moshing.
Mm-hmm.
Shirts off, guys moshing. Girls there too, but kind of off to the side, just like trying to stay out of trouble while guys, it was like Fight Club.
Yeah, it's a lot of testosterone.
But there was something weird about hardcore music where there was all this anger, but none of it was towards each other.
Mm-hmm.
It was like just towards this existential thing, you know. So there was like a lot of camaraderie in hardcore music. But, and I remember, I forget what the first band was. It was like some opening band, and they were hard. They were heavy. And that's the band I can't remember, because I think then after them was like, after them I think was Sick and Roll, and then I think after them was Minor Threat. So those are kind of like I think Minor Threat was headlining. Not that they do much of that stuff, but completely out of fucking left field. Mind you, the first band that had played, they were moshing, and some guy's prosthetic leg ended up on the fucking stage, and I mean they were swinging it around and throwing it around, and they were crowd surfing him through the whole fucking place, and then that band leaves, and within 2 minutes on the stage, you're not going to believe me, Bush showed up.
Bush, George W. Bush?
No, the band.
The band Gavin Rossdale?
Gavin Fuckface.
Whatever his name is. Mr. Gwen Stefani.
Whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah. Showed up at a Minor Threat show.
Showed up at a hardcore show in New York City. Got on stage. And I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Please don't start playing. Grabs a guitar. Starts to fucking play. Oh my God. The place killed him.
Yeah.
They were fucking, get the fuck. Are you kidding me?
Straight edge people.
I never liked the band, the music, the lyrics. I didn't dig it. Why he did that, I still have no idea. I'm sorry I'm even bringing it up. It's one of those things that was like so mind-boggling. Like if you were there, you would be like, "What the freak are you doing?"
He was trying to be cool, He wanted to be cool like everybody else. I listened.
No, but it was like that was a room full of uncool people.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he was a hardcore fan, but then cover a few hardcore songs. Don't play fucking Bush. Don't play. I think he played Glycerine or something. God. Yeah, like what the fuck are you doing, dude? Can you read a room? It was wild. I was like, oh my God, please don't play the song I'm thinking about. And he played it and like, holy shit. and everything you think would have happened to him happened. He didn't even finish the song. He ran out of there.
So you hate Bush,
but I always did not like the Bush. Yeah.
What about Live? Were you a Live fan?
Live
and Live?
Yep. Big fan of Live.
Yeah, they were good.
I saw Live. Yeah.
I saw them too.
I saw him in Jersey at this small club maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And they sounded exactly like the album. Like note for fucking note. I was like, it was like one of the tightest bands I've ever seen in my life. Tone-wise, rhythmically, they were fucking great. They tore the place apart. But they have like that one album. Did they have a second album? Because that's the only album I have.
They had more than one.
Throwing Copper is all I have.
There was actually, I thought somebody was talking on Lithium the other day on Sirius about they actually had an album before Throwing Copper.
They did?
I think so, yeah.
I don't doubt it, but
that was that album was fucking.
The album was fucking great.
Yeah. I was thinking about where I lived in LA and San Diego, and there was a club right down the road from where we lived called the Soma. And that's where I saw Foo Fighters on that first tour. And everybody went there. Every band would go through there. And on back-to-back nights, I remember in the 90s, I saw Korn. This was before they were enormous, Korn, the first Korn album. Mm-hmm. And Tenacious D opened up.
I would love to see them live.
Crazy, dude.
That must be fun to see live.
It was a real small place too, and I didn't know who Tenacious D was. I didn't know there was no Jack Black. Nobody knew who they were. They were just like opening up for Korn.
I guess the first Korn album. That's going back,
dude. Korn is fucking Blind. That fucking. And I remember the big thing was they were like Korn had extra strings on their guitars. That's how they had that different sound. Dun, 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 yeah, the bass and the guitar.
Yeah,
and I remember the lights being down, dude. And my friends and I just listened to the shit.
There you go.
We listened to the shit out of that fucking album. And my friend was like, "You ever hear Korn?" I'm like, "Korn? What the? Oh, it's Korn with a K. It's fucking hard." We would put it in the car, dude, and it was fucking crazy, dude. It was like death, fucking crazy, heavy stuff. Yeah, and the lights were down. And they were just fucking with them because they were fucking with us in the crowd because they would come out and pick
Korn or Tenacious D?
Korn. Because Tenacious D came out and they were great. But it was just like, what the fuck is these two guys
what was that?
Fucking acoustic guitars? And they were getting booed a little bit, but then they started
and they don't give a fuck.
But they started rocking it out. And you were like, all of a sudden they turned it around. It was like a fucking shtick and it was amazing. And then they took the lights down and they had tuned the guitars up and they kept coming out and they would touch the guitar and it would make that and it was like, and people would start getting fucking crazy, right? And then they turned the lights all the way down, and the dude, I think the bassist, his name is like Monkey or whatever the fuck his name is. He came out and he hit that fucking and I thought the fucking world,
Monkey.
I thought the world was gonna fucking end, dude. When they hit that, and the whole place was like people were just fucking murdering each other all over the place, dude. So and then the next night I went back in the same place and I saw Presidents of the United States of America. Are you familiar with Pot USA? Lump. She's Lump. She's Lump.
Oh my God! Really? That's
very catchy, and I love the album in a different way.
I didn't. It was. I didn't listen.
You
to
remember Peaches? Peaches come from a can. They were put there by a man in a factory downtown.
Yeah. No, and actually, so maybe I do like that band.
No,
now that you're saying these.
Well, and their shtick was the opposite of Korn. Korn had extra strings. Presidents of the United States, I think they had like 5 strings between. There's like 3 men. 2 guitars, 5 strings.
Well, that's you too. Edge has 2 strings.
Yeah. Which I don't know if that's is it good or not to play with less strings. But it was interesting the amount of sound and it was just a fun concert. But it was a massive juxtaposition between these 2 shows that I went to. Then I've also went down to Tijuana and I saw a show that was
Tijuana. That's one of the cool things. California's a cool place. Go ahead.
Tool, Anthrax, and Pantera.
That would be too much for me.
Yeah, it was a bit much.
Tool I like, Anthrax and Pantera. Maybe I would see them on their own. Together, that's a headache and the ears ringing fucking...
It was an angry concert, dude.
A lot of anger, a lot of...
Yeah.
I mean, the most anger I've seen at a concert, more than the hardcore show... Well... No... that was the when Bush got on that stage. I mean, that was that was the worst I've seen. I mean, other than no, I know. Even still, like I saw Oasis have a bottle thrown at him while singing Wonderwall.
Yeah,
that was at Lollapalooza. That happened to him, but yeah, nobody was so out of place as him that night. I couldn't believe he went out there. But you mentioned something, and you made me want to. Oh, Woodstock.
Yeah,
I really want to go because it's Woodstock, and it's what 25th or 50th. What is it?
I would think it's 50th because was it 1994 the 25th?
Yeah, 64 was So it's the 50th, and how many times. This is it's Woodstock, right?
Are they doing it again?
I didn't go to the one in the 90s, and I regret the fuck out of not going to that one. That one was freaking epic.
Yeah. Well, what were the big things from that Woodstock though that you remember?
The one in the 90s?
Yeah.
There were just tons.
Green Day played, right?
Wasn't
Green Day one of the headliners?
I don't remember the complete lineup. I remember being fucking pissed at all the different bands. Like, out of all the bands playing, like, so you usually go to a festival, a Lollapalooza or something like that, and maybe there's 15 bands playing, and you like 5 of them. This was like maybe 20 bands, and I liked 18 of them.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, why didn't I go to this fucking show? Blind Melon?
Okay.
Blind Melon played that. Do you like Blind Melon?
Yeah.
No? I fucking like that band a lot. He killed himself not long after Woodstock. I think it was Blind Melon.
I get stuck here to see what the big acts were.
And he had like a legendary one of his songs. I think it's on the Woodstock Live album in that 90s. I think it's Blind Melon. And if you listen to it, it's fucking awe-inspiring. It's like one of those. It just gives you chills. Like he's just. I don't know. Like when an artist is just like kind of sing, like when that Sarah woman was fucking crying in front of me. Mm-hmm. It was the same thing. It was like this guy is bearing his soul to me, right? He's bearing his soul to everybody who's listening. Had that feeling.
Well, here is your Blind Melon concert right here. I'll give you some names here: Green Day, 9 Inch Nails, Primus, Metallica, Cypress Hill.
Oh my God,
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's actually this is
Limp
the
Bizkit,
East,
probably
99 Woodstock 99. So I don't think that's it. 94 was the official Woodstock, and then here's Blind Melon, Aerosmith.
Aerosmith. I mean, what the fuck?
There's a whole mix here. Look at this. This looks like Annie Lennox.
Annie Lennox was there.
Cranberries. Yeah, Cranberries would have been worth seeing.
I fucking love
the Allman Brothers Band.
Yeah, well, they were in the original.
Rage Against the Machine. That's Woodstock 99, though. That's Woodstock 99. Chili Peppers was 94.
These are all great bands.
Korn in 99. Metallica 94. Crosby, Stills, Nash 94. Porno for Pyros.
Yeah, fun band.
Yeah, that would have been your.
So you're reading off these bands, right?
Peter Gabriel, the band.
You're reading off these fucking bands. These musicians.
Henry Rollins.
These artists. These poets. These fucking incredible musical talents, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the 50th. You think, what the fuck is this show going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're charging, I think, $535 a ticket. So now I'm like, that's fucking a lot of money. My wife and I go, that's $1,070, to go see the show. I'm the type, I don't know. Something, it's kind of like if that passes, right? And you don't go, you're like, all right, I didn't go. But if you went to it and you had I'm all about experience, right? Because experience is what sticks with you. You can buy a car, and after the first 2 months, then it's fucking old news. But if you go to Woodstock 50th anniversary and you see a legendary lineup of bands. Something you never feel, something on your deathbed you think about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is that worth $1,000? Yeah, maybe. Depends on who's playing, right? But you expect it to be epic, right? In the 60s, it was an epic lineup.
It was epic, but it was unexpectedly epic. Like it was like
right. A lot of those, a lot of those bands were just right.
Yeah.
Well, no, they were all planned.
Were they?
But a lot of them didn't blow up till later. Jimi Hendrix played on a Monday morning because the whole thing was delayed because people couldn't even get there. Part of what made Woodstock what it was is that people didn't realize that many people would go or were even that interested in just going out on a field and just getting high and just saying fuck it to the whole world. That's what threw everybody off. Thinking, well, what the fuck are all these people doing here?
Oh, shit. Sorry. I just did something.
No worries. So much so that all the bands were backed up. And then Jimi Hendrix, like I said, played on a Monday morning, even though he was supposed to headline on the Sunday night. So you figure, all right, you can have like maybe one or two of the originals, right? Cool. Then we looked at the list of the people that they were going after, and I saw things like DJ Chance, Pink.
Yeah. Because they want their name associated with Woodstock.
I mean, like people that you would think would have been in Coachella like 10 years ago. Like I was like, wait a minute, this is fucking Woodstock. This is the 50th anniversary of Woodstock. I should be hearing epic bands. I should be hearing. I don't care if I hear even old bands. Tell me the fucking Stones are going to be there. I'll go. The Stones, Aerosmith, Pearl Jam, Foo Fighters. This is who belongs there, right? Yeah. And the original Woodstock had some off music too. Yeah, you could throw some different styles of music in there too. I'm fine with that. Put the Grateful Dead in there with fucking John Mayer playing. I mean, that's fucking epic stuff. Definitely. Yeah. But DJ Chance?
Yeah, but when Woodstock first happened, and even in 94, sorry, it was a time and the culture, and it all came together and it fit right. Do you believe in the world that we live in now? It was more than just a concert. It was a cultural event. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And there is no culture anymore.
Not really, no. I mean, our culture is fucking disposable, fucking Snapchat, fucking throw it away, right? Throw everything away. And are you chasing something that's just a payday for somebody instead of it being what you want it to be, Right. And I guess you're right. The experience you make what you want of it. Yeah, I would. No, because I'll tell you a story. We used to go to New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival back before it was huge. Mm-hmm. And the coolest thing about it was that you could go all day and stay at the festival grounds and you could see people play on the big stages and walk right up to the edge of it. And it was great food and it was a cool vibe and very Woodstock-esque in that way, right? New Orleans is rich in a lot of different cultures, right? You could go listen to a fucking brass band. You could go to the fucking blues tent. You can go to the fucking gospel tent.
Right.
And then they had some local bands that were big. And then every now and then they would have one major person. But it kept getting bigger and bigger.
Right.
And then the next thing you know, it's like you got fucking Prince shows up at the Jazz and Heritage Festival. And I love Prince, but I'm like, dude, you're fucking up my little Jazz and Heritage Festival. Because I want to see Prince in a Prince concert, right? I don't want to see Prince under the heat of fucking New Orleans, And we just kind of stopped going for that reason. And I know it sounds like we're too cool to go to, but it was just, it got super crowded. It got super expensive.
It's too crowded. No one goes there anymore.
Yeah. And we just kind of gave up on it. But it's gotten huge. I'm trying to remember who was in the lineup the last time. It was huge names in this lineup. I'm like, what are you fucking doing in this show? You have nothing.
Right. You don't need
nothing to do with New Orleans Jazz and Heritage.
Right. Well, I haven't followed that circuit, but there's something about though seeing some epic band that's just huge pop up at something maybe a little unexpected. Kind of like I'm not a huge fan, but it's something I dislike his music. I definitely like his music. But I would love to be one time, just at the Stone Pony, watching some regular band, and then Bruce just fucking walks on stage. That's got to be fucking epic. It's got to be. So Prince, well, I don't know how the size of this jazz festival sounds like. It's big.
Well, let me tell you how big it is now. Do you want to know who's headlining Jazz Festival this year?
Who?
50 years? Do you know who those guys are?
That's the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, that's the Rolling fucking Stones.
Well, at the Jazz Festival?
At the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. The Rolling Stones are the headliners, dude. One of many. I'll give you a whole list.
Why are they calling it the Jazz Fest? It's not jazz.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's we've lost the spirit of it because it's just become make money. Oh, well, the Stones are there. I got to go see the Stones. But it's not really about... But they would say, oh, well, rock and roll came from rhythm and blues, and that came from the Deltas. And okay.
All right, but it's not jazz. It didn't come from jazz.
And the spirit of it was more than that. There were lots of blues and jazzy acts and stuff like that, but there was fusions in there. But you could always closely tie the roots back to what the spirit of this thing was.
Right. Not anymore.
Not anymore, no. This is I forgot. It's the fucking Rolling Stones, dude. It's the Rolling Stones. I never saw the Rolling Stones live. Well, dude, this one guy looks like my fucking grandfather. Dude.
Well, I never seen him dead either.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they're kind of... they're getting up there.
Wow.
Even the Foo Fighters. Even Dave Grohl's in his 50s.
Yeah, I was watching some old Dave Grohl stuff. Earth, Wind, and Fire will be there. The Doobie Brothers. Ciara.
I don't know who that is.
I'm trying to think of... Here's the big names.
I remember... Do you remember the... When did you come to New York?
We moved back here in 2001. I moved back to I moved to New Jersey. I've never lived in
2001, New Jersey.
Yeah. Santana will be there.
I was for a solid. I don't know if you remember. I think I was in NYU at the time. Acid jazz.
I love acid jazz.
We used to go to
Boss Skaggs is going to be
there. Fuck was the name?
Better Than Ezra. Better Than Ezra.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
What the hell was the name of that place? It was one of the few. I mean, I was just telling you about Limelight and all the drugs in there. I mean, I would be at the urinal and the cigarette girl would come up. I mean, so they had cigarette girls, and she'd be selling cigarettes, candy, and she'd have weed on the tray. But I'm sure I never asked her, but I'm sure I could have bought something else from her. And she would come up to the urinals. You'd be peeing, and she'd come up. It was wild. It was one of the most wild clubs.
That's crazy.
But the acid jazz scene is the only place in my entire life. You would go to an acid jazz show at this place, and we'd go. And it was just people sitting down, right? There'd just be these huge leather circular booths. The place was right off of the Lincoln Tunnel entrance. I fucking can't remember the name of it. SOBs, I want to say. But anyway, we went in there, and we used to go all the fucking time. And we would sit down, and the waitress or waiter would come around, and you'd order your drinks, and you'd order weed from the waiter. I swear to God, in 1994, 95, and you'd be like, we go, dude, can I weed? He's like, what do you want? Blunt, joint? What do you want? I'm like, a couple of joints. And he's like, all right. And then we come back with booze and everybody at every booth was smoking weed, drinking, and listening to these fantastic live fucking acid jazz shows. That was like 2-3 years of that, but I never really went to a jazz concert. Really, I mean, I think I was in a jazz club maybe once or twice in the Village, for like an hour or two, having a drink or something. But I didn't really listen to a lot of jazz.
I mean, Jazz Fest comes off more jam bandy. You know, you get a lot of the It was a lot of the Grateful Dead and Phil Lesh and Friends and a lot of that. So you could get something that's really jammy, like jam bandy, you know, like it's like they're sounding like
they're just follow my lead type of stuff.
Yeah, they're tuning their instruments for, you know, an hour and a half. But then there was some really cool, like, experimental stuff. Like, we would go, it wasn't even the festival that was the best part. You go out in New Orleans and there were so many clubs and so many scenes that you could go to, and you could go, there was this one thing called the Jazz Mandolin Project where they would just do covers of like fucking Thelonious Monk albums cover to cover, or there was this one, it was just called Drums and Organ was the name of the band. It was a guy on a drums and a guy on an organ, and that was a whole fucking band, and they would just do covers, but cool covers,
right?
Of like, holy fuck,
like their own renditions.
Yeah, they're doing fucking Stevie Wonder, Living for the City with fucking drums and organ.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and there were a lot of Hammond B organ, like Robert Walters and Congress, and Carl Denson is a saxophonist who actually played with Lenny Kravitz back when he was doing his tours for his big albums and stuff, and he became his own artist. Very entertaining, dynamic guy to watch. So you would pick out these other they were almost better than watching the giant bands.
Right,
they became your giant band because you're like, this guy's so fucking dynamic on stage and so talented and entertaining.
Yep.
And then they would do like really cool covers, like out of the blue, just do fucking covers.
I love a fucking cool cover.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a good, cool cover. Out of nowhere, especially. We were at some winter thing, the Rat, whatever the hell the local station is. Yeah. In Pennsylvania, I think it was. And I think we missed it. Actually, it already passed. We saw the Struts there. We saw that other band, A something. I forget the name.
Alien Ant Farm?
No, AMR.
Oh, AMR.
Fuck. Anyway, we saw them, and then on the side stage, I liked it. But I liked about it. I love concerts where you could just walk around and have a drink here, and walk somewhere else and have a drink there, and just. Oh, here's another stage, and here's a bar by that stage. Let's go stand at this bar and listen to this band, and let's go inside and get a pretzel and listen to that band. I love just, who doesn't? I mean, that's a lot of fun. And we were outside on the side stage, and there was this guy playing. I wish I could remember his name. He was just him with an acoustic guitar, and he was just playing. And he was singing some songs, and there were some people there, but not a lot. We're having a drink, Lisa and I, and we're talking a little bit, and the music is going, and I'm listening to this fucking guy. And I just turned to Lisa, and I was like, wait. She's like, what? I was like, just wait a second. And she's like, what? I said, listen. And we listened for 5 minutes. I said, this fucking guy is playing his fucking ass off. And it was like he was belting out note after note. He was fucking incredible. This guy was incredible. And it was just him and a guitar. That was it. He had 2 microphones, one by his guitar and one in his face. And you could listen to him all day. And Lisa's like, yeah. I was like, look around. Like, everyone was just like, and even though he knew, like, half these people aren't even listening to me.
Yeah.
But some people were. And it was kind of, I don't know, either he was playing to those people or he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He was playing for himself.
Probably the latter. Right?
Yeah. And that's what it felt like. It felt like the latter. It felt like I have to get this out of me. That's what the music felt like. And that fucking courses through you. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's fucking, what's funny is that we put him in our Apple Music. We have him in the playlist. I wish I remembered his name. I would fucking tell you who he is right now. But unbelievable stuff, and to like what you're saying, like a jazz festival where there's just these people that are just playing their hearts out on side stages, right? Like just as people just walking around and walking by, and people like yourself who maybe will stop and appreciate it, like for what it is. Like holy shit, in those little moments of connection, which I really think. As much as I'm into writing and movies and stuff, I really think music's the only thing capable of that. Like just this some primal connection that's made with music that is not available in other mediums. I could stare at a painting that's beautiful, or I could read a great book and it can have a profound effect on me. But there's something like where, I mean, you could hit 3 notes of a song that's your favorite song, and it's just it's stopping the tracks.
It becomes magic, and you don't know why it's magic.
Yeah.
The thing that bothers me is sometimes it's manufactured, because you get that, you're like, oh, I can't wait to hear this album. I can't wait to hear the follow-up album. I can't wait to hear the follow-up album to this band. I gotta get it. And you put it on and you go, okay, well, maybe if I listen to it again. And then you listen to it like 5 or 6 or 7 times, and all of a sudden you're like, now it's grown on you. But is it magic the way that first one was like I said, hearing the fucking bass line to that Korn song, and it just fucking hooking you and going, God damn, dude, that's just fucking, that's a filthy fucking bass line, dude. Like, whoa, what the fuck is this? Because you stop and you go, what the fuck was that, dude? That's awesome. You know, it's the magic of music, and it's funny. The other cool thing that happens at Jazz Fest is you're at this bar watching this other band play, real small clubs, and all of a sudden you look over and there's a dude from another band that you saw at another place with his fucking saxophone, cool, and the next thing you know, he's on stage.
Right. He was just standing randomly next to you having a drink with you.
He's just sitting there going like this, and you're like, holy shit, this guy's just enjoying this too. And then next thing you know, he's up on stage. It's actually addicting, because my other brother-in-law would like disappear. Like, he would get lost in New Orleans and we wouldn't hear from him the entire weekend. Like, is he alive? Is he dead? You know, and it's the only
drunk and stuffed on beignets.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And you could go get a Bloody Mary and do your laundry at a fucking bowling alley. Figure that one out. But it's the only other place that's like New York where it really doesn't go to sleep. Like, we walked into a bar at 4 a.m. and we thought it was empty, and a guy jumped up from behind the bar. He was laying on the floor behind the bar, sleeping. Can I help you? Are you guys open? What happened? Did somebody?
I have 4 arms and wings.
Yes. I'm almost guaranteeing that guy was a bartender down there in New Orleans. But yeah, it's a great town, and it's a special experience. Actually, my wife and I are dying to go back and try to get.
We should go to, well, Mardi Gras is a stupid time to go.
It's not. You don't want to go then. You want to go almost any other time.
Right.
Because you can still do all that shit, and it's just not as crowded.
Right.
But really, like, get into the history of the city.
I'm going to go to the sex shows.
Oh, Jesus. That was a whole nother thing. Did I tell the story about, my buddy rented a house that a local owned there, and it was a really cool house, and it was not on Bourbon Street, but it was like just off of Bourbon Street. And when you walked around the house, there were pictures of these 2 women. There was an older woman, and there was a younger girl. And first you see a picture of her as a little girl, and she's got beads on and crazy glasses and a boa, and her mom is there. Their fucking tits hanging out next to her, and fucking beads.
Right.
And then as you go around the house and you look at pictures, the next thing you know, now this little girl has grown up to be a young woman, and she's standing next to her mother with her tits out. And there are just beads all over this house. And you're just like, holy shit, these beads are just filthy.
They were draped on
their tit beads.
Like on preteen on boobs.
Or and the mother too. But just there were so many beads though, Nick. And so we were in the house and we were on the balcony, and I think we were like towards the end of the fest, and we were like a bunch of the guys out there, and you know, there was always like, we gotta get somebody to show their fucking tits, because we saw it on Bourbon Street. We're gonna fucking get somebody to show their fucking tits. You gotta show your tits, leave me alone. A bunch of guys chanting on a balcony, and then they keep walking. And we just kept at it. We got beads and blah, blah, blah. Show your tits. And they just keep, I don't want to fucking,
eventually you get somebody.
Eventually, we did get someone to do it. And when it happened, for one, we were in shock that it happened. And then afterwards, we all felt really weird about it. Like, we were just we just felt like, wow, that wasn't really what I thought it was going to be. It felt really cheap. And we gave them somebody else's beads that they had showed their tits for in the house. So that didn't feel right either. So we're like, it wasn't our currency to exchange. I guess is the way, like, usually.
I don't see it that way. I see it like I see it like on this weird, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I see it on this weird, like, human level. Like, we're people. We're humans. Me and you. We're human beings.
Yeah.
We're wearing these clothes because we've been told to. Like kind of like a, I remember one time I was driving on Houston Street, West Houston Street in the city, driving back from a restaurant. I forget Lupa. Driving back from Lupa restaurant, Mario Batali's place. We were drinking, and I didn't drink as much. My friend was wasted. I had a car with a sunroof. He poked his head out there, right? And he's got just drunk. He's drunk on West Houston Street, and some girls just pull up next to us and just like, and they're like, yeah, like that. And I was like, show your tits. And they just went, whoop. And we all just laughed and smiled. Like there was nothing cheap about it.
No,
it was
you
like,
didn't feel.
It was like, so what? I saw you. Like, who cares? Like, what am I gonna? Am I gonna molest you now? Am I gonna chase you around? Like, no. All right. So yeah, you want to see mine? Like, here's my tits.
Yeah.
It's like it's silly. You shouldn't feel that way.
Yeah, but I think we had to coerce this person too much. Maybe that was why it felt like it was like,
show your fucking tits.
Come on. Well,
come on.
3 fucking
that's a little
beads
weird.
for your fucking tits.
That's a little weird.
It was.
I'll give you 4 beads. Show me your tits. That's a little different.
That wasn't quite that intense, but
right.
It wasn't quite as giving as
your teeth weren't gritted together.
No, when you grit your teeth, it gets way pervy.
Yeah.
Like,
show you.
You could say fucking Father,
tits,
forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. It just sounds bad. You can't even confess like that.
No, you can't. But it was just if it's a happy thing, like show your tits, okay. Like no beads, there was no exchange.
That was a joyous exchange. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Ours felt like, and you know what? Also, it might have been you in the cars were on the same level. We were up above. We were on the balcony, and she was down below us.
Oh, you had the high ground.
We had the high ground, yes. So, I think, and maybe we had the moral high ground too, as well as the figurative high ground. But it just something about it felt wrong, and we all sat there uncomfortably afterwards. Not even like we had accomplished something.
Uncomfortable. I wasn't even there.
No, it was like okay, that wasn't really at all. We felt like wow, it was exciting for a second. It was exciting for one little second,
right?
And then you just felt like
regret.
Yeah, you would think if you got one that you would get like that taste of blood in your mouth, and you would want more, right? But we got to get more. But it wasn't.
It's a little disappointing.
Guys. It was. It was like okay.
Isn't it disappointing?
It was. Yeah,
like when like a stripper like throws out her thing and shows you her tits. You're like, all right, you have tits.
I've seen them before.
You have tits.
Maybe that was my realization. All right. Maybe the 10 of us collectively as a community had realized.
What do you want me to do about
we've
that?
Seen tits before.
Yeah,
they look like that. Yeah. Some of them are bigger. Some of them are smaller.
You have a floppy breast.
Yeah.
Right? Mine is closer to my body.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, what were we talking about?
Wait, where you bought a car?
No, this did not.
We were just talking about music. But no, yeah. Just makes you wonder if you did the experiment where you swapped guys' bodies with girls' bodies, how long a guy would get tired of playing with his own tits before he just got bored of it.
I wouldn't touch them at all.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I mean, a little bit. Maybe for like 5 seconds. And that's it. I mean, I'm not a tit guy. I like butts and thighs.
Do you think you would lay around and just massage your own ass?
I like kissing.
Okay, well, you can't kiss your own ass, so.
Yeah, I don't. What?
I don't
Who
know.
said ass?
You said
I said I like butts.
Butts, and I'm saying if you were in a woman's body, you couldn't just lay there and just caress your.
No,
I guess you could and caress your ass, but you couldn't kiss your own ass.
Yeah, and I wouldn't. That would be weird. It doesn't feel the same. I don't think. No,
I don't know. In my house, we do a lot of ball handling.
Okay,
we almost do more ball handling in one night than Michael Jordan did in his entire career.
This ball handling's fine.
So, I mean, I don't know. Does that equate to like tits? Like fondling your tits if you just constantly have your hands on your balls?
What?
I'm saying is the male testicle equivalent of a woman sitting around and feeling herself up constantly?
No. Those are genitals.
Aren't they all genitals?
Yeah, but the balls are genitals. Tits are, breasts, chest stuff.
Not genitals.
No.
Okay. We fizzled out at the end there.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? I have to pee. So you might as well end the show. You want to end the show?
The show is completely evolved around.
I don't even know. We talked a lot of good music stuff.
Yeah, I think the music stuff.
I didn't realize how much music stuff we had to offer.
We have.
I didn't even fucking touch on it.
We should bring my old CD booklets from when I was in the Navy, and they're alphabetized, and you can go through them in front of the music.
You know what I should do? I should bring my acoustic guitar down here, and I should mutilate some songs.
Let's do that. Let's karaoke.
So listen to me play like shit.
Let's karaoke something. Acoustic karaoke.
Acoustic karaoke. Nice. Ooh, my thing ended. All right. Listen, guys. Sorry again for missing all that fucking things because of the flu, and
I think we missed you guys too. Really.
Yeah. No. We definitely missed doing this. We missed seeing each other.
Hopefully you missed us, and we missed you,
and we missed them. Doomsday Doopy Doo. Website, Twitter, email doomsdaydoopydoo@gmail.com. Do us a favor, tell a friend, give us a review on iTunes, and we'll see you guys soon. Maybe check out the RPG show if you're interested.
Yeah.
Chris, you got something to add?
Just wasabi peas, bitches.
That's it? Yeah.
That's it.